Welcome to the 2012 Distance Education Faculty Development Session for Best Practice of Group Work in an Online Environment. How do you define group work in your class? The hopes you have is to have the students collaborate in some sort of project or assignment, to work jointly with others or together, especially in an intellectual endeavor. The benefits of group work include experiential learning. Whether it's a good or a bad experience for the student, they still understand and learn and gain knowledge of how to work with others apart from the assignment base. Students learn better when they have opportunities for collaboration. The opportunity for collaboration breaks up the monotony of various assignments, and a group assignment is different from any other assignment within the class. Students tend to learn more material and retain information longer in group work. And group members learn from their own efforts and from the perspectives of the other members. Here are some types of group work you can use or amend to your class. A panel discussion, you can create a panel and have a group of students given a set of questions in which they prepare a group response. You can develop group projects, and group projects can mean a number of things, from writing assignments, research papers, creating PowerPoint presentations, or anything generally presented to the class. You can create a case study where a group of students are given a narrative description of a problematic situation and then asked to identify or solve the problem. You can also have students as teachers. A group of students develop the presentation of a course topic for the rest of the class and pose questions in class for class discussion where they lead the discussion. Inside Blackboard, you'll find tools to facilitate some of these assignments or maybe even create your own. Instructors can create an assignment in group discussion boards and release it to a designated group within the course. You can have students create wikis for the class. Students have the opportunity to work with peers to build a database of collaborative knowledge that can be housed in the wiki. And the wiki can be moved from ongoing semesters to amend and revise. Instructors can create group blogs. Blogs are intended for general public access and can be established for both individual and or group use. And journals, although they're intended for private use, you can have group journals which can be created allowing members of a group to view all group journal entries. You may want to do this as a phase if an individual is working on a set of journal entries and then later have them peer reviewed by the class. Forming groups. You want to clarify the purpose for your groups. Clearly define why you'll be using online groups in your course. Perhaps include this in the course syllabus, the purpose, and the goals for the group activities. The more detailed you can be with your rationale and description of the activities up front, the better. Pick the sizes of your groups. It's important to consider how large or small your group should be. Groups that are either too large or too small may encounter issues. While there's no one suggested group size for all contexts, make sure that group sizes allow for everyone to be active and contribute, and yet not require only one or two members to carry the load if a member drops the course or is freeloading in the group. Decide how you will assign students to groups. You can randomly assign students to groups, or you can have the students choose their input to their own groups. If students are in a cohort or have some affinity to one another prior to class, you may want to provide students the opportunity to share their preferences for who they'll work with in groups. Creating a group forming groups discussion forum and a discussion board may provide you a space where students can post their strengths and weaknesses and assist you in assigning groups as well. Take advantage of students' strengths and weaknesses. For example, in a foreign language course, it would help for each other to have a student who has visited a country that speaks the language. By focusing on assets, you can make sure students feel they are valuable to their group. This both increases the group effectiveness and increases participation of the individual members. Configuring groups. Use a generic group name initially when configuring Blackboard. You may want to use Group A or Group B, and then later on, once the groups have selected names, they can amend those names. While entering names in group discussions, you may want to add the first initial and last name of each group member inside a description, so the student knows who is in their group immediately. And go ahead and enable all features when setting this up. If you're unsure whether they need all the features later on, you can always choose to disable them. Enroll yourself as a group member in each group if you choose to do so. It allows you to participate in their experience in the group assignment. Create a groups link in the course navigation menu or somewhere easily accessible for students to find links to the group. Create discussion forums for each milestone of the group and have the group discussion be posted there. It's good for communication and progress through the milestones. Create Blackboard Collaborate classrooms for each group so they have an opportunity to work synchronously if they choose to do so. Encourage students to use other collaborative tools if they wish, but require that a summary of the progress be posted in the group discussion board, and you may want it to be documented, so a copy of the transcript may also serve you well. Establishing group expectations. Be clear in your expectations for participation. Clearly communicate to your students what you expect from them in a group assignment. Break the group project up into milestones at different stages of the course. If groups are working together on a project, break the process of the project down into sequential stages to be completed. Ask members to develop a group charter and agree to their own expectations. This helps the instructor understand that the students have created their own expectations, and this can include all information associated with that group. And to get even deeper, you can suggest roles for students as members in the group. One can be a facilitated leader to make decisions. Others can be research experts or editors, a communications expert, any role you desire. Monitoring group progress. Have students peer assess each other's participations at different stages of the course. Include opportunities for peer assessments for each other's contributions. You can facilitate this through a quiz in Blackboard that's not included in the Grade Center. Such a quiz would include short answers where students were asked to enter each name of each member of the group and rate their participation for the milestone. It should also include a place for students to enter comments regarding each other, and obviously only the instructor can see this. Review group discussion threads weekly. Have your groups post in discussion threads and have it be at least a weekly. And as an instructor, you may not have to check all these posts, but you can check for the frequency of posts to make sure the lines of communication are not broken down as the group project is progressing. You can, as an instructor, you can also email each group members at several key stages of the course just to check in and ensure that progress is being made. Assessing group work. As an instructor, it's good to provide clear rubrics for how groups will be assessed. And I'll show an example on the next slide. You can assess in many stages rather than just the final deliverable material. It's also good to be prepared for freeloaders or students who drop the course in the middle of a group assignment. And you can assess both the group and individual contributions if you choose to do so, and also provide feedback regarding both individual and group contributions when grading the assignment. Here's a rubric example for a group project where it's been set up in different stages for the final group presentation worth 40%, individual contribution worth 30%, where individuals can prove what they have contributed to the project, documented work, messages through discussion boards. There's also group collaboration where you can judge the overall group communication, and also the peer assessment, which may be optional, but it could be added to the final grade if you wish to do so. Here's some final tips for group management. Give clear instructions. The more instructions and more detailed instructions you can give, the less questions the students or groups may have when coming across a problem. Keep groups together long enough to establish a positive working relationship. I believe a minimum of 3 weeks should be enough for a group project, but you may want to go longer than that, depending on the time, how long the course is. Develop a solution for group members to leave and join groups. You may have students who are clashing personalities or just don't work well together for some reason. Give them an option to move to another group or swap group members. And have a solution for students who are not participating or freeloading, where students may be able to vote them out. And for that student to redeem themselves, they could be added to another group. Encourage team building. The group charters can be a benefit. It can list all the contact information for people in that group. The charter can discuss how they will interact and communicate and how they will manage conflicts. It also states what roles will be established, who are the decision makers, and the charter covers all the unanswered questions you may have when establishing groups and making sure they're getting started on the right track. Encourage groups to appoint a leader or coordinator. This keeps the group focused and has someone to facilitate all the major decisions. Monitor the group progress. Group leaders can report to instructors. You can have them email you once a week to instruct what's going on and if there are any issues that they are not able to solve. And promote individual accountability. Not everyone should get the same grade in a group project unless they all do the exact same amount of work. You can amend this in the rubric and in the detailed instructions prior to the assignment. Thank you for watching the Distance Education Faculty Development Session for Best Practice of Group Work in an Online Environment.